Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over scene transitions in Doodly, as well as some special considerations when choosing a transition type.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
Doodly has two main transition settings we're going to be working with today: video wide settings and scene settings. First, if you go to video settings, you can set the type of transitions you want across the entire video. By default, it's a swipe left transition, but you can change that to any of the following. None, which as the name implies means there's no transition between the scenes. Rather, the new scene simply appears as a cut from one scene to the next. Swipe left. This means the original scene swipes away, moving to the left and revealing a blank slate. Or if you have any assets set to appear instantly, it'll reveal those assets. Swipe right. This means the original scene swipes away, moving to the right and revealing a blank slate or any of those assets that you have set to appear instantly. Swipe up. This means the original scene swipes upwards and it reveals the blank slate or any of those assets that you have set to appear instantly. Swipe down. This is the opposite. This means the original scene swipes downward and reveals the blank slate or those assets. Mixed. This applies a random mix of transitions. So it could have, a swipe left on the first one, swipe right on the next one, swipe up on the next one, and so on. Camera panning. This means that the camera moves to a blank section on the whiteboard. You can see a portion of the original drawing in the new scene. If you choose this option, be aware of how you place your assets, as you may not like which portions are shown. For example, I'll often expand an asset, I'll make it oversized, and it looks great on my scene, but if this particular transition is used, sometimes it'll look strange. Note that this setting can only be applied in the video sections of Doodly. Now let's go over to scene settings, where you'll see most of the same transition controls, except for camera panning. And then here's one new one called Erase. The erasing transition is kind of fun, as the hand with an eraser appears and erases everything from the scene so that a new scene can be drawn. Here you can change scene transitions individually based on the scene itself. So while you may initially have the video set to swipe left between every scene, you can change it as desired. I'll often switch the transition to swipe right, up, or down, depending on the assets. For example, if we put a hot air balloon in a scene, it might be fun to swipe up so that it looks like the balloon is rising. Or likewise, if you have a car on the scene and you want to make it look like the car is speeding off, you can use a transition to give it that effect. You can do the same thing with characters as well. So a character can look like he's running off the screen, jumping above, or being pulled away. And that's the basics of scene transitions. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over adding subtitles to your Doodly videos. Subtitles are useful for a variety of purposes, which we'll go over today.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
So let's jump right in. And one of the best ways to teach you this is to show it to you in action. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and hit preview, and you'll see the subtitles. So why add subtitles to your videos? A lot of people watch videos with the sound off. I know I do. Sometimes it's because I don't want to disturb those around me. I also really like to read rather than listen to content. For others, it's a practical matter, as maybe they're deaf or hard of hearing. Another reason you might want to add subtitles to your video could be to add a translation. For example, maybe you have both an English-speaking and a Spanish-speaking audience. I often add notes in the subtitle section using it as a cheat sheet. When I do, I turn off the subtitles for that particular scene. Then I can come back and read my notes at any time. Now you'll notice that I also was using the subtitles as a prompt. I did a voiceover while you guys were watching this preview, right? So what you can do is, even if you have no intentions of displaying the subtitles to your audience, you can use them for your own internal purposes to help prompt you record a voiceover. So I'll show you how I would do that. Okay, so I would go over here to the beginning, and then I would click the little plus sign by my voiceover tool here and begin. Why add subtitles to your videos? A lot of people watch videos with the sound off. I know I do. Sometimes it's because I don't want to disturb those around me. I'll go ahead and stop. But there we have it. Now I've got a voiceover track, and I didn't have to deal with papers, and start and stop and figure out what I had to say, because it was like a teleprompter. It was telling me exactly what I needed to say. So next, how do we get these subtitles in here? How do we control them? So there's two ways. Let's start with the video settings, because this is where you can turn your subtitles on and off for the entire video. So let's say I just used them for doing a voiceover. I would want to turn it off. And now, if I hit the preview button, so you'll see the subtitles are gone. So that's how you turn them on and off for the entire video. Let's go ahead and turn them back on. Click apply. And let's go into scene settings. Maybe I don't want the subtitles to appear. Maybe I just want them to read the text that's on the screen, and that'll be fine. So if I go to scene settings, I simply turn them off. And that only affects that scene. If I go to my next scene, you'll see the subtitle is still on. Now, as you recall, the subtitles had a black background, and it was semi-transparent and white text. We can change that here. So if we wanted to change to, let's go with a red. So a red background, and then let's make it a little bit lighter by changing the opacity. Let's go to 50%. And I think probably the white is fine, but let's say we want it a little larger. So we can change the font size. Let's click apply. And now if we preview the scene, you'll see that the look of the subtitles has changed accordingly. Let's go back into scene settings. This is just a very basic text box, so you can type in new text, you can delete the text, and you can copy and paste the text in. And finally, the last thing I wanted to talk about is if you have a scene that has a lot of text on it in the subtitle, like I think this last scene that I had here, let's take a preview of it again. It had quite a bit, I don't think you want your subtitles to take that much real estate on your scene. So what you can do is you can split it into several scenes and split the subtitle across those scenes. So let me show you how to do that. I had 3 sentences there, so I'm going to duplicate this 3 times. So I'm just going to right click, duplicate, right click, duplicate. Now, of course, this is a long scene and it duplicated everything. And I certainly don't want, 45 seconds of it. So I need to make some adjustments. This is the first scene here, right? So this is when it draws on, and currently I have the scene settings 14 seconds, which is way too long for that first scene. So I'm going to go just back to the default of 0.5 seconds, so half a second. And then I'm going to change my subtitle here. I want the first sentence. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to delete those other two and I'm going to hit apply. So now it's much shorter and it just has that first sentence. Now I'm going to go to my second scene and I have to make some changes. It's already drawn on, right? So I don't want it to draw on again. So I'm going to say 0 and 0 for the duration. And again, scene settings, I want to change this to 0.5 seconds. Well, I don't know how long I want it to be actually, because we need to have enough time for the person to read the text. So I'm going to adjust that in a second. I want to get rid of the first sentence because we're on the second scene here, right? And then I want to get rid of the last sentence. So how long is it going to take for the voice to read this one? I'd say let's give it 3 seconds. And we'll click apply. So now we have a 3-second scene there. And then this one, again, we don't want it drawing on the stuff again. We just want a 0 duration and a 0 duration here. Scene settings, since it's the last scene of my video, I do want it to be on there a long time. I think 14 seconds, probably overkill, but it'll be fine for now. And we want to get rid of sentence 1 and sentence 2 and just have this one. Okay, let's just make this 10 seconds. And we're going to hit apply. Okay, I need to change the transition as well. I always forget that and I shouldn't. So let's go back to scene 1, scene settings. Right here, go to none. Okay, exit animation, none. Click apply. Same on the second one. Scene settings, exit animation, none. Apply. Preview once again, and we'll jump ahead. Here comes our second one. When I turn subtitles off for that particular scene individually. Then I can come back and read my notes at any time. So that's how you can deal with a single scene that has a big chunk of text that takes up just too much real estate on the video screen. Simply duplicate, make your adjustments, and it should be good to go. And that's the basics of using subtitles in Doodly. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over how Doodly works.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
So what is Doodly exactly? Doodly is a whiteboard animation video creator, and it's very easy to use. While you can jump right in and start making your own whiteboard videos within minutes of purchasing and downloading it, It's helpful to understand how it works. So let's take a peek under the hood. Since Doodly simulates whiteboard drawings, it has several backgrounds that you can use. A whiteboard and glassboard, 2 chalkboards, custom colors, and even custom backgrounds if desired, as well as different hands holding markers, pens, and chalk to choose from. These elements form the bottom and top layers of your video. In between, you have characters and props, which are drawn onto the board by the hand. Now, it doesn't really draw the images because these images already exist. What it does is it simulates drawings by slowly revealing each pen stroke one at a time. Doodly works by using drawing paths on the image. So think of each drawing path as a pen stroke. Each path has specific points on it, telling Doodly where to start and end each stroke. In Doodly, these drawing paths are also called reveal paths, and that's because Doodly doesn't really draw the image, rather it reveals the image one path at a time. If you've ever used a real whiteboard, then you know it's common to draw various elements, talk about them, and then erase them before moving on to the next topic. Doodly allows you to do the same with various scenes. Instead of drawing the images, you actually drag and drop them onto the whiteboard, and then you'll let Doodly reveal them when you're talking about them using a voiceover. From there, you can move on to a new scene by using a transition, such as an erase or a swipe, and that will get you to a clean whiteboard where you can repeat the process. Your whiteboard video can have as many scenes as you'd like. Doodly includes a library of characters, props, royalty-free music, sound effects, and fonts, so you can easily create your own whiteboard videos. If you want to bring in your own graphics, audio tracks, or fonts, you can do that too. It has an import feature that's super easy to use and gives you a great amount of flexibility to make whiteboard videos with your own custom appearance. Perhaps one of the best ways to understand how Doodly works is to see it, okay? So I'm going to take this arrow. This is an arrow that I had imported earlier. It does not have any drawing paths assigned to it yet. If I right-click it here and click Preview, you'll see that it just kind of scribbles on by default. And while that's great in a pinch, it doesn't look realistic. Nobody scribbles an arrow on like that. Instead, they might start and do this, something like that. Or maybe they start at the point of the arrow and do this and that, and then add the squiggly lines. So you want to kind of think about how it would be drawn, and then you're going to tell Doodly how to do that. I'm going to click the arrow and then this edit icon. If you look in the live preview, you see the scribble effect here. So now what I want to do is I want to tell Doodly the path to draw this arrow on. So I'm going to go here and click on my path number 1, and I'm going to tell Doodly where to start drawing. I want it to start at this point here. And it's a pen stroke. It's what we're thinking of it like, right? So maybe he goes, the pen starts here and ends here before it lifts up and then comes over here. So that's what I've told it. Start here, end here. You'll see this little red line. That's the path itself. And it's a little too narrow for this image. So I'm going to make it a little wider by adjusting the path size. Now let's add the next path. Click New Path. Tell it where to start and where to end. I'm going to click a new path. Now I'm going to go back to this one, and we're going to start here, and then we're just going to follow this curve with all these different little points. This is telling Doodly how to draw this line. Now Doodly knows, oh, it's a curved line. And then I can adjust the points as needed. So what you want is this red to cover the entire portion of black. Okay, now I'm ready for a new path, so I'm going to click that. And I'm going to go down here and do the same thing. I'm going to tell Doodly, follow this. And you'll notice in that live preview that it's now drawing on according to the instructions I just gave it. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Return, and we'll preview it. And now Doodly knows how to draw it. If that felt a little fast to you, you can change its duration. So now instead of being 3 seconds, it's 5.5 seconds. And he draws it a little slower. I hope this gave you a better understanding of how Doodly works. Thanks for watching! Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over Doodly Rainbow, what it is, how to get it, and how to use it.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
As you know, Doodly comes with a variety of characters and props pre-installed. Now, by default, they're black and white line images. However, with Doodly Rainbow, you can instantly convert these images into color images. So what exactly is Doodly Rainbow? It's a paid add-on, so it does not come stock with your Doodly Standard or Doodly Enterprise software. You do need to purchase it separately. If you're interested in purchasing it, you can go over to my videos and click on the Doodly Rainbow add-on down here. So what does Rainbow do exactly? Once you've purchased it, you have this little button control. It's your Doodly Rainbow tool. And when you click it, you can turn it on and off. So right now I've turned it on, and you'll see all of my assets have changed to full color assets. So here's some of the characters all colored in. And then some of those same props we were looking at earlier, all colored in. If I were to add a new scene, I could add a Doodly character, and since I have Rainbow turned on, he's in full color. He'll remain in color even if I turn Doodly Rainbow off. So now I can add other characters that are not in color. This is often helpful if you want to draw attention to a given character or object and have the rest more in the background. And if you change your mind, you can click on the character, click on the gear option, and you can turn Rainbow on or off for each specific asset individually. So I'm going to turn this one on. And now she's in color too. Likewise, I'll do the same for this lady here. Let's turn this rainbow on. Now, what if you want to make two different versions of your video? One is totally black and white and one in color. Well, you can do that over here in Settings. Doodly Rainbow. Let's turn it on And now all of the images are going to be turned into rainbow images. Okay, so you'll notice this character, which I had previously set to be a line image, has now been turned on, and that would happen across my entire video. So I could export this video and have a color version, and then if I go into settings here and turn rainbow off and hit apply, that's going to turn off all of my images. So now I have a strict black and white version that I could export. That way I can have two versions, a color version and a black and white version. Now let's take a preview, and you'll see how the colors appear by default. The hand kind of scribbles them in, so he draws the character or asset and then draws in the color in kind of a diagonal stroke. If you want to change that, you can. So let's click on our rainbow, the pencil icon, and you'll see that stroke there, right? Well, if we go to reveal mode and click fade, then it'll draw the image and then the color just fades in, and that's a really nice effect. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I'll do the same for this character here. Pencil icon, reveal mode, fade, save. And now if we hit preview, he'll draw the items and the color fades in. And that's the basics of using Doodly Rainbow. Thanks for watching! Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over how to add external animations to Doodly. Doing so can bring your whiteboard videos to life and add a little visual interest.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
As you know, Doodly makes animated whiteboard videos. The main animated element is that drawing effect. Once the graphic is drawn, though, it becomes static. It just stays there. Now, what if you wanted an object to move after it's been drawn on the whiteboard? Say you have a gear and you want the little gears to turn, or a clock with time ticking by. Adding animations like this can add interest to your videos or draw attention to an object to reinforce your concept. Doodly supports adding animations, but you must first start with an image type that moves, which is known as a GIF file, or GIF, depending on how you pronounce it. GIF stands for Graphics Interchange Format. You see them all over the internet. An early example is the classic dancing baby from the 90s, but they're often used today in memes. A GIF file is basically a series of still images that loop one after another. Because they are 8-bit graphics and they only support 256 colors, they tend to be of really low quality, so keep that in mind when using them in Doodly. It's best to consider them accents rather than the main attraction. So let's add an animated element to a scene in Doodly. You'll see here I have a scene of a police officer sitting in front of a desk and there's a clock over her shoulder. I want to convey a sense of time passing. But if we preview this scene, you'll see the only real animation is the hand drawing the elements. What I'd like is for the clock to actually move. So earlier I had created a clock GIF. So I'm going to import it just as I would any other graphic. So I'm going to browse for my files and upload my GIF. So I'm just going to place it in my scene, and I'll delete my other one. And let's take a peek at it now. So once again, the hand draws it on, and now it animates. So let's do another one because I want to show you some of the limitations to this. So I have a fish bowl over here and a fish, and I've already added some bubbles, okay? Let's hit preview so you can see what it looks like. So I have my drawing. I probably want to turn erase off, and we've got these bubbles. So one of the first limitations is it looks dumb when you have it erasing before it comes on. So I want to turn the eraser off. So I go to Settings, Erase Mode Off, Apply. Then this particular GIF that I have is of the bubbles, and you'll see that it's a blank white rectangle. You don't see the bubbles, and that's because when I created this GIF, the bubbles start off screen and then they move up, as you saw. So the first frame is empty, so that's why you don't see anything. So it can be a little difficult to work with if you have a GIF like that that starts blank, because you can't see it for placing it. The other thing to keep in mind is that they could generally come across as not transparent. So it's a solid image, okay? GIF files generally don't support transparency like PNG files do. So if I placed it here, it's going to cover up the line of the water. So I have to be real careful where I place it. And likewise, I'm having it draw before the fish comes on, because if I place the fish first and then have this scene come on top of it, it hides the fish. So I need it to come on first. And then you'll notice, let's hit preview again. See how it's scribbling that on first? I don't want that. That looks dumb as well. I had turned the eraser off, but then there's that scribble effect, and it's basically scribbling nothing. So we don't want that. So we're going to hit this edit button. And we are going to go to reveal mode and turn it to fade. And that way it's just going to fade on. I'm going to save and return instead of scribble on. And I probably don't need it to do it for 3 seconds. I probably just like a 1 second fade is fine. So now let's take a look at it. And that's much better. Probably move the fish over a little so we cover that area where they appear. Let's try that now. And a lot of this is just going to be playing with it till you find something that you like. And I like that just fine. And now finally, you can convert an existing video into a GIF file. So if we go over to this scene here, you'll see I have a little doodly video inside the laptop. Let's take a peek at it. So look, I've got a little doodly video. It's doing its thing there. And that is just a GIF file. So here's how I did it. I made a short doodly video, converted it to a GIF file, uploaded the GIF file, and placed it inside this laptop. How? Well, there are a lot of services online that'll do it for you. If you search on Google, you'll find them. Simply upload your video file, click Convert, and then download the GIF. These sites tend to have lots of ads and they might prompt you to download other programs, so be careful where you click. When using a conversion service, keep your video clips relatively short and then let them loop as your scene plays out. A higher frame rate will produce a smoother animation, but it does make the file larger. Perhaps most important of all is to play around with it and have fun with it. And that's the basics of adding animations to your Doodly videos. Thanks for watching! Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over working with PNG and JPEG files in Doodly. We'll also talk about transparency and why it's important.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
PNG and JPEG files are two common types of image formats, and Doodly allows you to import both types. While you may not have given much thought to their specifics, if you plan on importing your own graphics into Doodly, it's smart to know a little bit about them and their differences. PNG stands for Portable Network Graphic and is often referred to as Portable Graphics Format. It's an uncompressed 24-bit RGB raster image format, and it's very common. PNG files are excellent for use with Doodly because they can display a transparent background. JPEG stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group. JPEG is a compressed file format, so some image quality may be lost when creating or converting a file as a JPEG file. It's one of the most common image formats used. However, for Doodly purposes, keep in mind that JPEG does not support transparency. So as far as Doodly is concerned, the biggest difference to be aware of has to do with transparency. PNG files support it and JPEGs don't. So why do we care about transparency in Doodly? Well, let's take a look at these two files once again. I have them on a color background so you can see the transparency. So the PNG file, instead of being a square or rectangle, you only have the unicorn himself. Everything underneath it can show through. Whereas with the JPEG file, the background shows up as white. Now, this is not a big deal when you're working with a one-layer whiteboard scene, like this first one here, because the white background just kind of blends in with the whiteboard. However, if you'll notice here, I've got a colored scene, and all of a sudden we see that white background, and it may or may not be what you have in mind. For example, we go back to this scene and I've got some rainbows here, and I want the unicorn in front of it. Well, this looks great with the PNG because there's no background. But what if we took our JPEG and placed it here instead? Well, now that background is covering up the rainbow, and it doesn't look good, does it? Wouldn't you say it looked better the way we had it before, which was this with the rainbow showing behind it? So that is why we care about transparency in Doodly. So how do you get these PNG or JPEG files into Doodly in the first place? Well, let's go ahead and add some, okay? I'm going to add a new scene here. And I'm going to go over to pixabay.com and find some graphics. So let's look for some frogs and let's choose illustrations. So now I have some cute frogs that I can add. So let's take this little guy. And you'll see he comes with a transparent background automatically. And that's perfect for our PNG. So I'm going to click download and I'm going to click PNG, but I want to pay attention to the file size. Doodly requires your files to be 1920 by 1080 or less. So this file size will work. So we'll go ahead and download it and then come back into Doodly. Click on the Props tab and then the blue plus sign. Now let's browse for the file. It should be in my downloads folder, and it is. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. And here he is. He looks great. So let's see if we can find another frog. And here we have a JPEG. And 1920, this one will fits within the right size for us. So I'm going to go ahead and click download. And then come back in here, props, and then the plus sign, browse, frog, and here he is. And that's the basics of working with PNG and JPEG files in Doodly. Thanks for watching! Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over how to write scripts for your Doodly videos. I'll share a few of my favorite tips and a format that I like to use.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
The first step is to brainstorm the video content. You need to know what you're going to be writing about. So think about your customers and pick a particular type. For example, if you're a realtor, you might have several types of customers. You might have first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, people who are relocating, investors, sellers, and so on. Now, once you have a type of customer, you want to think about what your intentions are for the video. So what do you want your viewers to do when the video ends? Do you want them to schedule an appointment to get a free market analysis? Or maybe you want them to fill out a form so they can get pre-qualified for a loan. Whatever it is, you're going to use that as your call to action at the end of the video. But I want you to think about that before you even get started writing the video, okay? Because everything that you write should be leading up to that call to action at the end. So if you know that going up front, you know that, hey, I want them to fill out this form and get pre-qualified for a loan, well then that's going to guide you as to what your video is going to be about, right? So think about a problem that these customers have related to that, okay? Maybe they don't have a good credit history, or maybe they're overwhelmed by the thought of all kinds of paperwork to fill out. So that's going to guide you. Those are key points, key frustration, pain points that they have, and you can address that in your video. So keep those in mind. Keep in mind the emotions that they have when they're going through these things. Like I said, they could be overwhelmed. They could be scared because of their credit history's so bad. They may not know who to turn to. And that's great. The more you highlight these problems and how you can help them, the better. So then think about your solution. How does your product or service solve the problem? You'll use your script to illustrate the problems and the frustrations, as well as to explain some of the benefits that they can expect when they use you, your product, or your service. For instance, instead of a heavy emphasis on the features of your product or service, try to tie those features into the benefits that the person's going to get when they use you or purchase this product. So let's say you have, bells and whistles is what they call, features, bells and whistles. So instead of a heavy emphasis on, our bell is made out of brass and it's got this really high-tech clangor, you might want to say, our brass bell has a soothing tone, so you can feel more relaxed and it won't disturb your neighbors. So it's talking about the benefits of the bell, and these benefits are what your viewer is going to connect to on an emotional level. So think about that as you're developing your script. Now, for a whiteboard video, you're going to want to keep it brief and focused. Today's viewers simply have short attention spans. Use characters and props to keep the video engaging, and then bullet points to reinforce key concepts. Keep in mind that you're probably not going to solve every possible problem your customers have in a 1 to 2 minute whiteboard video. So pick one, maybe two, and just nail it, and then tackle another one in your next video. So you'll have a series of videos that really address a pain point of your customers and help them to solve that problem. So now you have this concept in mind, so we need to get it onto paper. And I want to show you one of my favorite tools for doing this. So it's just a basic table. You can make it in Microsoft Word, Google Docs, whatever word processor you use, or even just a piece of paper. Draw a line down the center of the paper and split it into 2 columns, one for video and the other for audio. So on the video side, you're just going to type out descriptions for each scene. I like to use separate rows for each scene. So in this example, it would be 3 scenes. These are just for your own purposes, so type it out whatever makes sense for you. And then over on the audio side, you'll want to be a little bit more formal because, you're going to send this off to somebody to read for you as the voiceover, or you're going to use it yourself to read for the narration track of your video. So you're going to want, complete sentences and so on and so forth. Now, I find this format is super helpful because it's simple and you can go scene by scene. Like I have these different rows, 1 row for each scene. It helps you to get ideas for the graphics that you want. As an idea pops up, you just write it down over on the video section. You may cross that out later, but it's a great place to just capture those ideas that you have. And then once you have it fine-tuned, it's great for sharing with the other stakeholders involved in producing this video before you even start creating it in Doodly. So you might have a partner or a coworker that is involved in this. So you might say, hey, can you take a look over at my script here and see what you think, if you have any ideas you'd like me to include. And then that way they can give you their input before you spend a lot of time creating the video. And then once finalized or approved, it serves as your video's blueprint. So you can fire up Doodly, start recording your voiceover, start gathering props, and refer to this document as you go. Another great way to create a script is to start with a template. Now, at its most basic, you're going to want an introduction with a problem, a couple of key points and benefits, and a call to action. That's really all there is to it. And that's oftentimes enough to get you started. But if you need more help than that, Doodly's developers have a neat program called Automatic Script that you might want to check out. It has a bunch of templates inside of it for a variety of different marketing purposes, including video scripts. It'll walk you through the different elements that you can then customize to best meet your needs. No matter how you approach it, writing scripts gets easier with practice. Start with a topic that you know well, and you may be surprised at how nicely it turns out. I hope this helps you start writing your own scripts. Thanks for watching! Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over how to download and install Doodly.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
So you've just purchased Doodly and you're wondering how in the heck you're going to download and install it. Well, today I'm going to show you how. Head over to your email client, and that's where you're going to find your Welcome to Doodly email. This is going to have your username and password, as well as links to where you can download it. Now, these links are specific to your operating system. So if you have Windows, you're most likely going to have the 64-bit version. So download that version. If you do have the 32-bit version, there's a link for you there. And then finally, if you're on a Mac, you're going to download the version for Mac, which I'm going to do right now. Now here, this is your basic download and install process that with any software that you would be doing. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my downloads folder and double click. I'm going to agree to the terms. Sometimes you need to scroll through them, which is not a bad idea. And then hit agree. And then you have your installation prompt. On a Mac, you just simply drag and drop the icon into your applications folder. Then once you do that, if you go into applications, you will find Doodly within it. To launch Doodly, simply double click on it, and it will prompt you to enter your email and password. Again, this is found in your welcome email right here. So go ahead and do that. I like to click the Remember Me button and log in. And there you have it. You've just downloaded and installed Doodly. In addition to the welcome email, you can download Doodly by going to doodly.com/members. This is the Doodly members area, and it has those same links that were found in your welcome email. Let's scroll down. Download Doodly. So here, once again, you can download your Windows options and your Mac option. Now there's something that I'd like you to understand about Doodly. Yes, you're installing a local piece of software to your computer and you're working within this local client on your hard drive. But the data is actually stored up in the cloud. So you can use Doodly on multiple machines. So say you have a desktop and a laptop. So you can install it on both machines and work on it and move from one to the other as desired. So that's why you might want to come to this page in the future and download another version of Doodly. It will need your username and password once again, because you have to sign in with your credentials to access that cloud data. This brings up another point. You do need internet access to work with your stuff because it is cloud-based, okay? And while we're here on this members page, there's a few things that I want to point out. If you decide after the fact that you want to upgrade to one of those offers that you were presented with when you first purchased Doodly, They're available here. And then our tutorials are all also on this page. So you can come back to this page anytime and watch the introductory series of the tutorials. They're also available on YouTube, like this video that you're watching right now. So check it out if you need help. And then down here we have the Facebook group link. And that's a great place to go if you have questions, if you want to get inspired by what other people are doing, if you want to share some of your Doodly videos. It's really fun, so definitely join that. And then if you have questions, Doodly has outstanding customer support. So you can come here and check out the FAQs page. You can email a specific question to Doodly. You can go get support. You can submit a ticket if for some reason something's not working. There's great support, so make sure to take advantage of it. And then down below, there's additional resources and support links that you might want to check out. And that's the basics of downloading and installing Doodly. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over some Doodly drawing tips.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
As you know, you can import your own custom images into Doodly. Now, when you do, let's take a preview. You'll see they kind of scribble on in a diagonal fashion. That's the default draw type. So I'm assuming you've already watched our tutorial video that goes over how to work with drawing paths. This tutorial is going to go over a few of the finer points. So let's go ahead and click on it. Click the edit icon and you'll see the scribble effect here. Now, we had a user comment on that tutorial video wondering how precise your drawing paths need to be, and that's a great question, so I wanted to go over that today. So let's go ahead and start by creating a drawing path here. And obviously I have a very fat drawing, so I need to adjust the path size so that it's also fat, right? Because we want to cover up the black. Okay, so if I were to go like this, if you look over here, you'll see it doesn't uncover the entire stroke, and then it uncovers part of the eyebrow, which I don't want. So I do need to be pretty precise here in that I want to not show something that I'm not ready to show, and that I do want to show the strokes. I'm showing you with a circle because obviously you need to deal with the curves, right? And just depending where you are in that circle, you might miss a few spots. So you want to drag on the points just to make it nice. Now, in this case, I really don't have to be super precise at all, because look, I've got a fat path and I'm able to cover it rather efficiently with that fat path. Now here's the caveat. I'm working on a very simple image. It's only got the two colors, black and white. So I can be pretty sloppy here, and it's not gonna affect any other portions of the drawing. And it's a black line image intended to go on a whiteboard. So these white portions that I'm accidentally revealing will be invisible against the white. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. So see, that's really nice. But let's do the same thing with our colored emoji, and you'll see you're going to need to be a lot more precise on this one. And here's why. So remember, okay, let's start with the face. Okay, so let's say we want to do the circle of the face. So I'm just laying down a few points here to get started, and then I'm going to adjust my path size. And you know, I want to do this, reveal this pretty quickly, so I want a fairly fat path size. But the problem is, you'll see, look how sloppy that is. I've got a little bit of his sunglasses showing and a little bit of his hair showing. So I either need to start, you know, maybe down here if I want to be kind of sloppy. Look, if I want to do this where I'm outlining his face, it's going to be tough. And in my opinion, it doesn't look good to reveal all that hairline and parts of his glasses. So how precise do you need to be? Yes, you need to be pretty precise in this instance where you have color. So what I might do here is I might do that path, and then I might come in with a new stroke and work on it this way. Now again, precision. See this gap here? That looks terrible. So see that white gap? I want to close the gap. So you're just going to come in here and do that. Now maybe my new path might come in here and follow the glasses here, okay? Now it's too fat, so I'm going to adjust the path size and just play with it a little. And angles are kind of tricky. Let's see, I might want to close up this little section real quick before I follow the sunglasses. Now I'm going to go back here and I'm going to make sure I'm not touching this black. And it's okay to leave a little bit of this yellow showing, because when we go back and do the glasses, that'll just come in. So if anything, maybe leave a slight gap there. Now, for this angle, you might want to do a quick point followed by a quick point and then by a longer one, and then you can kind of adjust as needed. And you can see I'm getting some of that black. So see what I'm talking about? I don't want that black yet. So again, that's where precision comes in. So I'm going to give it even more space. And once you kind of have the outline, you can do some fatter ones. Try and fill the image quickly. Now remember, this is only going to draw in like 3 to 5 seconds, depending on the settings I choose. You know, I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing this drawing. So in that sense, you don't need to be perfect, okay? You just want to get the illusion that you're drawing it in one color at a time. Now here, maybe I'm going to do a fat one and try and get this black in quickly. Okay, maybe I just want to, now see, I got too crazy there, so now I need to bring it down. Now I'm going to do the glasses, and I don't want to reveal the hair or the forehead just yet. So I'm going to reduce the path size. Maybe start there. So along the top, I want to be careful not to reveal the yellow. But we can fill in this gap down here where there's some yellow showing on the bottom in one fell swoop here. So in this case, I do want to cover the yellow. So now I can use a fatter path here because I don't have to be as precise, because it's just black over black, right? Now you want to be careful with these extra points that come in, because those are going to start revealing areas you might not want to reveal. Again, we don't have to be perfect, but we just want to be careful. I like to get several points laid down and then go back and make the little adjustments. I mean, I can get really big if I want. And then I don't have to be nearly as precise with that little curve there. My goal is to just get this done pretty quickly. Now I might want to follow this line here, you know, that curve there a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and hit save and return and take a peek. But it does go to show you that your simple images are going to be a lot faster and require a lot less effort on your part than the more complex ones. And if this guy had a background, a colored background, then you'd need to be really precise when you're doing the outlines as well. I hope this answered some of your questions about how precise you need to be with your drawing paths. Thanks for watching! Hi, it's Pamela. In this tutorial, we're going to go over how to use free templates found in Doodly.
Hey, and welcome to the official Doodly YouTube channel. If you enjoy our content, please click the like and subscribe button below. Now let's get straight to the video.
You'll see I'm in my Projects tab right now, but there's another tab called Templates. Let's go ahead and click that. And these are all free. They come pre-installed in Doodly and you can use them however you'd like. They're complete. They have a script that's built in with subtitles that you can edit and change to suit your needs. You can turn the subtitles on and off if you'd like afterwards. And then all of the characters and text can be customized to better suit your own particular needs. So you'll see we have several categories. So let's take a peek at one of them. To preview, you simply hover your mouse over the video that you're interested in, and you click the preview button. And let's click play. I'm going to turn the music down a little so I can talk. You'll see that it has text, it has graphics, it has these subtitles, and it has the music track. It does not, of course, have a voiceover track because it's generic at this point. After you go in and make your own changes, then you can add your own voiceover. And this is 1 minute and 38 seconds long, so we're not going to watch the whole thing. But I would like to go ahead and use this to show you how you can customize it. So let's go ahead and exit out of there. To use the template, all you have to do is click on it and give it a title. So what is this? This is a business forecast for the new year. Okay, so let's say Business Forecast 2021. Click Create. And now your template is inside your Doodly workspace, and you can customize it however you'd like. So let's just take a peek at it. We've got multiple scenes here. Let's see, we'll just scroll through. Okay, and then we have this music track. Let's go to our first scene and start editing it. Simply double click on the text to change it, and we're going to call it 2021. Okay, so that one's done. So let's go to the next one. Company name goes here. So let's go ahead and change the company name to Acme Inc. Goals for year would be 2021. Now it looks like we have a layer here. What does that say? Next year. Okay, so next year, we're assuming you're making this because it was a holiday template for the new year. So we're assuming you were maybe making this in, November or December for the following year. Right now we're in 2021. We're doing it for 2021. So, do whatever makes sense. Now, since I have this bullseye on top, it's kind of hard to click on it and work with it. There's a corner there you could do, or you can click it directly in this panel. But I can't see what I'm doing. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to move this little bullseye over for a moment. And then I'm just going to come in here and type in 2021. And now I'll move my bullseye back. Okay, we'll go on to our next scene. All right, goal and goal topic. Okay, so let's click on this and put our first goal. We want to increase sales. And then what are the steps to do that? Okay, so we're going to go hire more staff, develop incentives, and you see you're going to have to do a little bit of fine-tuning. And then what's our third goal going to be to increase sales? Promotions. Let's say monthly promotions. Okay, so I don't really like the way that's landing on the page. I don't want to really have to shrink it, so maybe I'm going to just rearrange them to fit the way I like. Now let's say you don't like this font. Well, if you go over to the Fonts tab, you can change it. Just drag and drop the font on top and click Yes, Replace. And that looks pretty good. Now we've got a couple scenes customized here. Let's go back to the first one real quick and take a look and see if there's any subtitles on it. Scene settings. Yes. So there's a large subtitle. This is what the voiceover is going to be saying. So we also need to update it. So as we close out year, well, that's not going to be year, it's going to be 2020. We can't help but get excited for the new year, right? So 2021. So I'm just going to type right over. We accomplished a lot this past year, but have even loftier goals for the new year. With that in mind, we wanted to share a few of them with you. Now that's pretty generic, but I think that's a fine intro, so I'm going to leave it. And then we'll go into our second scene and we're going to do the same thing. Again, let's change the font. Let's make it this one, replace it, and let's make it larger. So, scene settings. Okay, so this one is identical to the other one, and I think that I know why. It's because we want to have the same text. We want the voiceover to kind of start here and continue here. So, what I would recommend doing is you could either do the same thing once again, which is easy enough to do in this case. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Oops, 2020, and then 2021, and leave that. That's fine. You could also have copied and pasted from the first scene if you wanted, if there's a lot of changes. So let's do the same for our third scene, scene settings. And here we go. This is where we're going to have to make this match our custom stuff. So we intend to increase sales. We will do this by, and then you're going to do your voiceover text. And then we can go on to our next scene. So what is the benefit of this? So maybe it's going to be more sustainable. Why does it matter? You kind of get the idea here, right? So obviously this is too large for my space, so once again I am going to adjust it. And I probably want to add those other points that I just wrote in the text. So more sustainable business. That looks pretty good. Now they're not in the proper order here. So more sustainable business is first, increase shareholders. So see how that's down at the bottom. So we need to rearrange it so that these come on in the proper order. I want to turn this music down because I notice it's a little loud. So I'm going to turn it way down, 15%, okay? I often find it helpful to record the voiceover scene by scene. So that's what we'll do in this tutorial. You go down to the voiceover track here and click the plus sign. And now we have our microphone. When I hit that, I'm going to get a countdown and then I begin talking. So here we go. As we close out 2020, we can't help but get excited for 2021. We accomplished a lot this past year, but have even loftier goals for the new year. With that in mind, we wanted to share a few of them with you. Our first goal is really important to us. We intend to increase sales. We'll do this by holding monthly promotions, developing an incentive program, and hiring staff. Okay, and then I just hit the stop sign, or the stop button, and I now have my voiceover for these first two scenes. I'm happy with the timing. I see I can make some adjustments, but we don't need to go over that in this tutorial today. And finally, those subtitles. They don't have to be on your video if you don't want them. So here's how you turn them off. You go over to settings, and right here, subtitles, on or off. If you turn them off, that affects the entire video. There's no more subtitles. And that's the basics of using Doodly's free templates. Thanks for watching.